Hi, my name is Jose Montes and I'm the quality manager here at Campania International. Today we will be showing how to assemble a lozenge jar glazed fountain. This is part of our glazed fountain systems, and the biggest thing about this is that they all come with a fiberglass basin. These fiberglass basins can be buried underground so as to show only the glazed piece. They could also be left on the surface. In this particular case, we show our fiberglass basin parts, the jar, the lozenge jar. It also comes with the pump kit, and the pump kit provides several parts that we will need for assembly. Also look for a galvanized pipe and a flange, our pump, some silicone, and a copper pipe that will go inside the jar. With this, we will start assembling our lozenge jar fountain. We've made sure that we have all our components and we have reviewed our instructions. Now the first step we're going to do is we're going to take our plug and we're going to put it through this pipe provided in the fiberglass basin. What we got to do here is push it in through. There's a channel underneath the basin, and we want to pull the cable so that it fits through that channel. When we do this, we want to leave enough cable inside so that if we need to pull this pump out of our basin, then in order to work with it, then we have that space available. We're just going to put it right smack in the middle. We're going to take our putty and our stopper and put it wrap it around the cable. And then we're going to take the stopper so that it goes right over that putty. Place it right in the middle. See how the putty is running through the slit provided on the stopper, and also make sure that the stopper, the narrower part of it, goes to the bottom. Then you follow with the putty around the stopper, and then take this remaining putty and put it on the slit, inside that slit one more time. Make it nice and tight. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull, get that stopper into the hole. Now we're going to push our stopper into the PVC. You can always use a flathead screwdriver to make sure that it is nice and tight. We're going to take the remaining of our putty and go around it one more time and put it right over the top of that slit again. And just push it down to make sure that no water goes through the stopper and the PVC. So we feel pretty comfortable with this seal, and we're going to take our next step in the assembly. We've made sure that our basin is level, our fiberglass basin. We check it cross-section wise. Once we have done that, we're going to take our support for the glaze feature and we're going to place it in the center. And there's a hole in this support. Make sure that you line up that hole with the hole provided on this disc. You got a center disc in here. You want to have that hole axis so that you can work through it, because you will need to work through that area. After we have assembled our basin, the next step that we want to do is we're going to check the diameter size of our hole here for any of our glaze features. And keep in mind, read the instructions, because this might be different in all of the different glaze fountains that we have available. In this particular case, what we want to do is we want to check our our barb connector adapter and put it through the hole. As you can see, in this case, it's a pretty tight fit. So we're going to use just the adapter itself. In some cases, because of the way that the glaze gets made, the hole may be a little bit bigger. We can't control the size of the hole. So we also provide with our pump kit an extra piece of clear tubing, and what you would do is you would add this to one of the sides of your barb connector so as to make it a tight fit when you place it on this hole. So just make sure to check the size of the hole on your glaze jar before you continue with the assembly. Now that we have checked our barb connector for sizing with the glaze jar, we're going to take our glaze jar and place it right on top of the fiberglass support here. We place it on top carefully, and we want to make sure that the hole in the bottom of the glaze jar lines up straight with the hole in the bottom of our support, because we're going to be placing some tubing through that area. Next step, we're going to take our clear tubing, our barb connector. In this case, there's no need for the clear tubing on this one. We're going to put the tubing through inside of the barb connector on one side. On the other side, we will be placing the copper pipe that's going to go over on the other end. Now that we have this set up, we look for our opening, which is on this side. We're going to take our clear tubing and go through the hole and push it in all the way until the barb connector allows us to. As you can see, the copper pipe sticks out just to about level with the glaze fountain. And now we're going to work on the pump and setting the tubing and the pump together. I've made sure that the clear tubing, when I place it into the jar and into the fiberglass basin, that it came out through the opening in the fiberglass basin. Now I have this two pieces of clear tubing that come in the pump kit already assembled together and glued, and I'm going to take the narrower part of it and push it in about halfway into the clear tube. Then I'm going to take the larger part with my pump that I have taken out of the fiberglass basin and push it in completely, and then I'm going to place the pump inside the basin. It can lay on its side, but just make sure that when you do this, your tubing is not kinked at any point. Make it loose enough that it's not kinking at any point. And now we have our pump kit assembled, and we have made sure that our glaze jar is leveled. We do it cross-section wise, check for levelness. Now that we have done that, remember that we provide you with the wedges in case you need to level the glaze jar. Now that we have done that, we're going to take some of the silicone provided with the pump kit, and we're going to apply it at the bottom of the glaze jar where it meets with the connector barb and the copper tubing. Now there's plenty of silicone tubing here, so use generously to cover around all of the bottom. This is to prevent the water from flowing through this hole, because we want it to overflow the jar. That's what we want to see when the fountain is connected. In order to keep it steady, we're going to use the flange and the galvanized pipe and we're going to put it over the copper pipe and right down in there. Make sure to keep the tubing steady. And we're going to let it dry according to manufacturer's instructions. Right after we apply that silicone in the bottom of the glaze jar, and we have put our galvanized pipe with the flange, we want to center our copper pipe and use some stones to fill in the galvanized pipe in order to keep the copper pipe exactly where we want it, which is centered. Once we do that, we fill it up a little bit with stones, and then we make sure that our copper pipe is exactly where we want it. Alright, now we have added water to our fountain, and we've made sure that there's no water leaking into the basin. So we have this full of water and the basin full of water covering the pump as well. We put our door here, and again, you can have that door towards the back, or if underground, you will probably have this covered with rocks or whatever your choice might be. We're ready to connect the fountain. Looks like we have a good water flow. We're happy with that water flow, so we don't need to make adjustments on the pump. But you could always make those adjustments, if need be, through the access door provided in the fiberglass basin. Make sure you do that before you put rocks on top or pebble on top of the basin itself. And this is pretty much the same way we assemble all of our glazed fountain systems. So here you have it.